Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today we're going to be talking about the new patch. Specifically, one of the new support items called Yordle Trap. Basically, the way Yordle Trap works, if you knock someone up, then they get marked, their magic resist and their armor goes down a bit, and then if they get killed within the next 5 seconds, 200 to 300 gold will be split between everyone who participated in the kill. So this is essentially a really good snowballing item, but it's not that useful but from behind, because obviously if you're not getting very many kills, you're not getting a lot of value from it. The stats overall are pretty good too. It's only 2,500 gold. It gives you 350 HP, 40 armor, and 15 ability haste. So as a whole, I think this item is one of the best starting items on supports with knockups. If you have a stun, lots of stuns, it doesn't really work because again, it's a knockup that actually gives the passive. So champions like Rakan, Nautilus, Alistar, to me, these are the best users of it. Overall, Thresh can work with it well too. And so these types of things, basically just any CC that displaces someone as well. So I think a knockup, I don't know if there's other things apart from knockups that count as displacing, but to my knowledge, it's mostly just knockups. And so, again, I think Rakan is the best user of this item overall. And it typically has to kind of be a first item. You can't really build it later than first item because you can't really get that much value from the gold if you're not building it quite early. So here, the build we're going to end up going with for Rakan is going to be, I go steel caps, I should have gone mercury treads. But you should go mercury treads typically. Then you're going to want to go for the new item, the Yordle Trap item. After that, you're going to go for Zeke's Convergence, then Protector's Vow, and then you can kind of go for a situational item. Harmonic Echo is a common one that kind of fits well with Rakan's playstyle. So it's kind of a unique build, and you're going to see I do it in a slightly different order here than I said right now, but the order I just said is the order I would recommend it. Obviously, we're testing some things out, trying some stuff out and everything like that, so it's a slightly different order, but that's typically what you're going to want to do. You're going to see how much value Yordle Trap can get in a game like this, where we do end up having some success early game. And again, the reason it works really well in Rakan is because he doesn't need that tankiness from Heartsteel necessarily, or the tankiness from Warmogs. So even if you're slightly less tanky with this item, it's pretty cheap, which is really nice. And you are mostly focused on going in, making a quick engage, making sure your teammates can deal as much damage as possible, and then getting out. And so that mark really helps with dealing the additional damage to them as well, and everything like that. So that's typically why I really recommend this item on Rakan. I think it's really, really good at Rakan. Like I said, Nautilus, Alistar, I think it's good on as well, but not quite as good. For those champions, you can still go for Heartsteel or Warmogs in games where it's really good. So if Warmogs, you know, if they have a lot of poke, for example, you'd rather go Warmogs. If they have a ton of melee champions, they are going to be just constantly whacking like a bunch of tanks or something, Heartsteel is going to be better. But if they don't have a lot of one of those two things, I would go for this item. That's overall kind of my general thoughts on it. And then we're just going to kind of show you guys this gameplay. We'll talk about it here. Obviously, we're just peeling for our teammate here. We ended up flashing just to try to make sure we could peel him. I didn't really end up needing the flash. Bit of a waste there, but not the end of the world. But yeah, overall, I think this patch is really nice, apart from the fact that it drains my battery now. So there are definitely issues with that and my phone overheating. So people have been talking about that, and I've been having those issues as well. So that's something to keep in mind. The patch, unfortunately, has those issues. So if you're dealing with that, just know I am as well. And hopefully they'll fix that soon. But yeah, overall here you see there is Yordle Trap. We're starting to build that up. The armor from it's also really nice if the enemy have a lot of AD, so it's definitely more useful when the enemy are really heavy AD. But here we're already going to start roaming with our teammate. We're going to end up getting that little snipe there with the Ignite to end up catching out that A-Soul. So this is also, I think Rakan this patch is going to be a lot better than he used to be. I think being a bit tankier is nice because it's harder for him to get blown up, and he was normally one of the squishier engage supports. I think he's going to have a really good time overall, just making a lot of really nice engages, and I think Yordle Trap is genuinely a really good item for him. Here we make another good engage that gets cleansed, which is another unique thing that came into the game, is cleanse. And so they do end up cleansing it, but then our Amumu comes in and ganks and dives with us. Then we end up going second ability and first ability just to get that final last hit. So we've gotten a couple of funny last hits so far. And then now we want to see if we can help out our team, but I don't know if we'll actually be able to kill Riven. Looks like we probably cannot do that, but that's, you know, it is what it is. We're still ahead quite a bit here. And that's going to let us get this item a lot quicker too, which is the nice part. It is an item that I was thinking about rushing, like instead of going boots, maybe I could rush it. Here again, we make another engage onto the enemy, but I was thinking about rushing the item instead of going for boots, but I feel like boots are such a good early spike that I don't really know if I want to rush it. But I think I might be trying that. And again, I get another kill with my first ability there, which is kind of funny, but just kind of ended up working out that way. Really good damage on that knock up too with the Amumu. Just me and him doing so much damage to a squishy champion there. But yeah, overall, you can see the game is going really well. And so we're going to get, be really close to Yordle Trap. We're going to get Yordle Trap soon. And this is kind of the strength of this item. It's like a win more item in some ways where, you know, obviously you have to get kills to get value from it. So it's kind of hard to judge, you know, would you really want this, because you might just be winning anyways a lot of times when you get the most value from it. But the stats on it are actually pretty good anyways, which is why I'm okay with it and why I can justify building it, even though the passive is kind of a win more passive. And I'm usually not a fan of win more passives. And if you don't know what I mean by win more, it's basically once you're already winning, it's going to help you win harder because you're going to get more kills, and having more kills gets you more gold from the passive and all that. But when you're losing, you're not going to get value from the passive. You're not going to get the gold, and so then it's going to be harder. But I still think it's going to be valuable either way because the stats are pretty good, and it can be good for making comebacks, getting gold onto people who matter, everything like that. So overall, I do think it's a solid item. And so again, here you can see we're kind of stomping the game early because I kind of wanted to show you guys the strengths of the items as well as we spoke about it. I thought that would make sense as well. And so now here you see how we're just going to go with our team and make a play on top side. Even though our team was originally, you know, obviously our ADC is bot lane, Jhin is a very good champion on his own. Like, he's just a champion who has good wave clear. He has good range. He has a lot of things that can kind of stay on his own. And so when we saw an opportunity to make a play top side, definitely wanted to go for it. Proto Belt's typically the enchant I prefer to go for as well. Is usually pretty preferable. I mean, it's really good for making really easy engages with Rakan, and it allows you to make a lot of really good plays. And you can see there, Jhin ended up still killing one person there in the 1v2, so shout out to Jhin for that. Always nice when you leave your ADC alone and they don't just run it down, and you know, we can always be happy about that. And so again, now we're just pretty much running around the map trying to see where we can make plays with Yasuo, make plays with whoever really ends up like doing anything. And typically the way that you can find these angles for engaging is looking at waves. So when a wave is meeting in the mid lane or on the bot lane, then you want to try fighting and looking for those roams. But when there's no wave, usually there's not going to be a fight. So again, because there's a wave in this bottom lane here, I know I can look for a potential fight. I try to predict his dash. I do not end up predicting it, but that's the kind of idea there. Because there was a big wave there, I know someone's going to go there, so I can walk towards that lane. Now there's no wave here, there's a wave coming, so either we would push the wave and then rotate, or we would just rotate right away. And so you see here, we wait for the wave, we now go on the wave, and then we utilize the fact that we have a lane pushing to dive the enemy under here, so that's kind of the idea again. Pretty much all of your gameplay should be based around waves generally as a support, and so we end up doing that. Again, the cleanse kind of surprised me there, but we make a good engage there with our team, and Aesol ends up dying. Trying to save him from Riven as well, but we don't end up doing that successfully, and so we do get the knock up on Riven, I believe. Yeah, we don't actually, we miss it, but it doesn't really matter. And then shout out to Yasuo there for the good play as well. But yeah, that's one of the main things that supports just need to understand when they're making plays in general, is that the waves are how you can determine where you should roam to. So if you see someone on your team walking up on a wave, oftentimes that's going to mean you have the potential to make a play. And if you see no one on that wave, you don't really need to even bother. You can just go somewhere else where you see an easier opportunity to make a play. I want to go back here. I want to see how much gold it said I had. So I click the scoreboard. Oh, I have 400, it says here. So I've gotten 400 gold so far from the item, which is nothing crazy. Like you can see it right here in the bottom where my cursor is. But 400 gold is nothing crazy, but by 9 minutes, I mean, an extra 400 gold, like that's not bad, you know, like creating your team some free gold, potentially letting them hit an item spike. That can be something that will definitely be very valuable. And again, if you just end up getting a couple kills in a team fight, it does have a cooldown, like a 10-second cooldown, but you just make plays a couple different times, and I mean, it's going to be pretty valuable overall. So it's definitely, again, kind of a more risky item because sometimes you're just not going to get that much value from it. But like I said, the stats are kind of fine anyways. And so here we try to make an engage with our team, but I missed my second ability pretty badly there. So it was completely my fault. If I ended up using my second ability properly, might have ended up working out. So my bad there. But luckily our Rakan's coming to, or our Renekton's coming to help us. So we end up getting that kill onto Aesol there. And so yeah, you can see we're just doing a pretty good job, just getting some more kills. Again, now we're at 600 gold on that item, just creating that extra gold for our team. Really good for snowballing, really nice overall. And it's nice to have that additional gold income as a support champion, because normally it's pretty hard to get gold. And because of the fact that it's a pretty cheap item too, kind of pretty efficient overall. So just all of those reasons make the item like quite nice. I wasn't really a fan of it initially, but after I tried it out, I definitely was convinced that I think it's something that I'd recommend you guys building in, again, the situations that we spoke about. And so here I'm just waiting for my ultimate before I really do anything. And once my ultimate comes up, we'll make an engage onto them, get the charms onto everyone, and then just get out. And you can see how quick Rakan as well can just go in and then get right out. Really, really good engage champion overall. Another nice 2-man knock up there. And then Amumu with the big ultimate there, we team wiped them. So shout out to Amumu for that nice engage there. We'll skip forward until the enemy respawn. And so again, you can see I went Protectors, then Zeeks. I would recommend going Zeeks, then Protectors most of the time. And if you need magic resistance and Mercury Treads aren't enough, then you can skip Protector's Vow and go for Force of Nature. Or you can even go Force of Nature second item. You could go Dawn Shroud too if you want, you know, that mixed resistance. So you have a lot of options in terms of what you want to go. So you don't always have to go this exact build. But I do think this exact build is quite nice. So I definitely recommend it when you can find opportunities to go for it. Yeah, and if you guys can't tell, I'm kind of tired. I'm not going to lie to you. So that's why I might sound like I have a bit less energy today when I'm recording this. So I'm sorry about that. But either way, again, we see them going for a play on bot lane. So we're going to go up in the go and help out that Yasuo now as well. Just kind of waiting for the Baron. Well, which is another thing that I think is interesting to talk about with this update is the new Baron. The new Baron I think is like actually really, really nice. I like the kind of old Baron, you know, that way it is now again. But this time, instead of like the old Baron, the minions get buffed without you walking by them. So they'll kind of naturally push. And then they have that healer minion in them as well. But it's kind of nice to have sort of the old Baron back. I'm a fan of that. I didn't mind the T-Rex, but it is always nice to have some change. So I'm pretty excited about that. You can see here my Amumu is just going to want to start the Baron. Like, you're going to watch how quick Amumu kills it. Watch, he just went on Baron 2 seconds ago. We make the engage onto the enemy as well. But Amumu went on probably 5 seconds ago, 6 seconds ago. He's just on the Baron the whole time here. We get the kill onto that Ace Soul, and our Amumu is just on the Baron. It's just dying. He's just soloing the Baron. And again, we're probably going to be making a video showing you guys about this Amumu stuff. But it's some pretty crazy stuff that you can do there. So that's probably what I'm going to try out my next stream, which I'm going to be streaming later today. I'm probably going to try out some Amumu. I might queue up jungle. So yeah, he's a champion. He's definitely a champion. Certainly something. And so there are Jace flashes out as well. I'm probably going to skip forward through a lot of this and kind of just show you guys the main key points now at this point. Because for the most part, it's pretty straightforward ending here. We just kind of make some more engages. You can see here again. I mostly just wanted to talk about the new item, explain to you guys what it was, how it worked. And you can see we've gotten 1k gold from it at this point as well now. That we've gotten some more kills onto our team. And 1k gold in 15 minutes for a support to create for your team, I think is pretty good. We get another little engage there. And our Jhin at this point is popping off. Look at him with the triple kill there. And so we just end up trying to go for the end, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to end there. You can see our team kind of dies here. Again, just kind of skipping through because I don't think there's any point in showing you guys all the small parts of the gameplay. So again, the point was more to talk about the item. Yeah, I missed my second ability over the wall there. A little unfortunate, but Amumu just goes onto the dragon. And then it's pretty straightforward from here. We're just going to make a nice little engage with Amumu there again. This is kind of nice too. I mean, the Rakan Amumu combo specifically is really nice. You saw you get 3-man ultimate there. It's really easy to get engages as Amumu and Rakan together. You guys can just set each other up so nicely. Usually Rakan can get people grouped up, and then Amumu comes in, ults everyone. And now you can see here he just goes for the Baron and just pretty much one-shots it. And by that time, I'm just zoning because I don't really care that much about dying as long as we're able to zone the Baron. So we end up doing that successfully, and we end the game there. So again, just wanted to show you guys that item. Let's go through to the end here and see what the overall gold value we got from the item was at the end of the game, if we can. So we ended up getting 1250 gold created for our team, again, in only 17 minutes, which is pretty solid overall. Again, kind of shared my thoughts with you guys on this item. I'll be streaming the patch more if you want to see more of my thoughts on the patch, and we'll be making more videos and everything like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.